Often in life and in GMAT sentence correction, we need to decide what the verb is, whether it's single or plural, whether it's an is or an are, a he or a they, a was or a were, etc. I've done a mini list down here. Now, to decide that, you need to ask yourself the question, what is the subject? I'm going to write that down. Ask yourself the question, what is the subject of the sentence? Now, you might think, well, how do I decide on that? The best way to decide on what the subject of a sentence is to ask yourself who or what is doing the action. Who or what are they talking about? Put in brackets. Who or what are they talking about? So, for this sentence here, in sentence correction, we're going to ask ourselves that question. So I've condensed the text down, and you should do this too. You should focus on the core elements of the text. And the text says, recent studies advance the argument that emotions, including those deemed personal or private, is. So, what is the subject, or who or what are they talking about? Who or what is deemed personal or private? Is it the studies that are deemed personal or private? No, it would be the emotions that are deemed personal or private. A quick vocab boost, by the way, if you need it, is deemed means viewed as. So, including those viewed as personal or private. So what they're talking about here is emotions. Now, those emotions are personal or private. So you wouldn't say the emotions is personal or private. Emotions is plural, so we need the word are after private. So that's the first problem with A. So A is incorrect. A is wrong. There is another element of this sentence that we should talk about, which is this parenthetical expression. I'll write that down. Parenthetical expression. You don't, of course, need to remember that spelling or what the word means if I even remember the spelling. Parenthetical expression. All that means is when there's an expression giving extra detail about one particular aspect of the sentence. So a phrase giving extra detail just thrown in, it's not necessary. So here, including those deemed personal or private, that's just giving extra detail about the word emotions. I might say, all the boys in this room, including those wearing red, should go home. So that extra bit of detail, including those wearing red, is a parenthetical expression. It just adds a bit of extra interest to the sentence. It's not necessary. And any parenthetical expression should come between commas. So comma at the beginning, comma at the end. So here, in this case, we have that phrase starting with including, and it carries on, but then it doesn't end with a comma. It just has is. So that's the problem with many of the rest of the options in this sentence. The correct answer would be B, because it's got are instead of is, which is the first lesson we learnt today, and it's also got a comma after private, because this is an extra bit of detail and it needs to be separated by 2 commas. So B here would be the correct answer. B is.